What's up, everybody? So what are the top 3 excuses that managers, CEOs, and leaders come up with for not practicing foresight in their organization? Well, let's check them out. Excuse number 1, I've got no time for that. Well, if you say that you've got no time for foresight, what you really mean is that you don't think foresight is important enough, and that you'd better spend time on more important matters. But let me tell you this, if you're saying that you're too busy for practicing foresight, it's like saying that you're too busy backing up your computer because you're working on it. So if your computer crashes and you lose all your data, and that is a metaphor to say if your organization crashes because you hadn't thought about how the future might change around it, then you cannot complain, right? Look, I've learned this the hard way myself. I had never thought that meditation would be any useful for my work productivity until I started meditating every day, maybe just 10 or 20 minutes. And that small amount made a huge difference, both on my leisure time as well as productivity at work. Foresight is pretty much the same. You can think of foresight as organizational meditation. You really need the same proportion of time a year, which is maybe just 3 or 4 days, and that will make a huge difference. It will be completely different from the absence of foresight, and it will go a long way towards preparing you and your organization for the future and for the worst. It won't prepare you for everything, but it will go a long way. Okay, so let's look at excuse number 2. I've got some very important decisions to take right now, and I cannot think about the long-term future. Yeah, well, if you only realized that your very important decisions right now depend on your long-term future, you would probably find out you're dead wrong about that. Look, Peter Skoblik explains this really well with an example of the US military practicing foresight. US military officers have to decide on which aircraft to purchase right now. And that means that their entire air fleet in, say, 10 years from now will be based on that decision. But doesn't the outcome of their military strategy depend on whether that will turn out to be the right choice in 10 years from now? And doesn't that depend on what warfare technologies, geopolitical tensions, and so on we might have in 10 years from now? Well, of course it does. So, long-term outlook first, and that is foresight, short-term decisions later. Okay, excuse number 3. Well, I'm already doing that. I'm thinking about scenarios all the time. Well, yeah, you're thinking about scenarios, and that means you're doing that with all your limited domain expertise, your biases, your assumptions, your fears, and your desires injected into them. And that means you're probably producing 2 very bad worst case and best case scenarios, if anything. And on the top of that, other members of your organization might not be on the same page with you on those scenarios. Practicing foresight is a whole different animal. It involves the dialogue between different organizational members and even possibly other stakeholders outside the organization about the futures of the industry or industries around your organization. That usually means that the scenarios being produced benefit from different domain expertise, that they're not based on your assumptions and biases, and that they challenge your imagination. But most importantly, practicing foresight will help the organization to be on the same page with regards to its strategy, what is the strategy trying to accomplish, and how to walk towards that shared vision together. So most likely, no, you're not practicing foresight if you're thinking about scenarios in your head. Okay, thanks for watching. I really hope you liked this video. If you did, please leave a comment, give it a thumbs up, and most importantly, subscribe to the YouTube channel. That will help a lot the channel to grow. And feel free to take a look at other videos in the Futures and Foresight 101 series if you want to learn more about foresight. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye!